How many friends have you made today? Chapter 6, Part 2. The first time we met, Anon says with a nod. I probably don't need to tell you what that dream was about. He chuckles. You can guess with all the information you got. Twilight took me into her home, asked me questions about my world. I tried to tell her as much as I could, but it was never enough for her. One struggle later, I'm strapped onto a table and hooked up to God knows what. Anon looks over to see a certain fire in Luna's eyes, but Celestia looks very hurt. It wasn't as bad as the dream, though. I didn't scream very much. I told her to let me go, but she didn't seem to notice or care, and eventually, I just decided to lay back and wait for it to be over. She probably didn't even know that I had claustrophobia.
What is that?
Luna asks. A fear of being confined, usually small spaces or being held in a room, basically having no means to escape. Anon looked over to Luna. So what else did you show her? Luna gives a sad sigh as she thinks back to the next dream that she showed her sister.
What did you say about my apples?
Applejack shouts to Anon as he holds his ground. I didn't mean any disrespect, Applejack. I just said that they were fine. He answers with his emotionless attitude.
Fine? Just fine?
She takes a few steps towards Anon as he takes a few steps back. I seriously don't understand why you're so upset, he says, and Applejack snorts.
These are the best apples in all of Equestria. They're better than just fine.
Alright, what proof do you have of that? He asks.
Wait, what?
Applejack looks at him confused. Just as I asked. What proof do you have that these are the best in the nation?
Well, we don't exactly know.
She admits.
But I know they are.
That's your opinion.
It ain't an opinion, it's a fact!
And that is your opinion. Celestia flinches as she watches Applejack quickly whip around and buck Anon in the stomach. The force is strong enough to send him rolling backwards a few times before he ends up on his back. Celestia watches Applejack's face quickly morph from pure rage to shock, then concern. She quickly runs to Anon's side.
I'm so sorry for that, Anon.
Applejack's eyes widen as she finds herself pinned on her back. Anon has his hands wrapped firmly around her neck and continues to strangle her with all of his strength. Celestia looks over to Luna as she tries to understand what she's looking at. She looks back to find Applejack having tears in her eyes, as she weakly tries to kick Anon off of her, but she's running out of air. Celestia can see the look in Anon's eyes, and they're blank, not even a flicker of light left in them. It's as if he lost his soul at this moment. She looks back down at Applejack again in shock, and if some pony doesn't stop him, then he's gonna kill her. Suddenly, Anon lets go of her as Applejack rolls over and struggles to catch her breath. Celestia looks back to Anon and notices the look of horror on his face. But he says nothing as he runs away. The dream dissipates once more. He chuckles at that. Yeah, that one isn't as straightforward as the first. You see, everything leading up to the point where I choke her, that's accurate. I heard around town that if I got in good with Applejack, then ponies would accept me easier. But one thing led to another, and she kicked me. When she came to help me, I wanted to strangle her to death. I mean, it never got to that point. I just pushed her away and went back home, but I guess that dream was just my pent-up rage. Celestia isn't really sure how to process this. Should she console him? Alright, next dream, Anon says, looking far more tired as this goes on.
I must say that you have a marvelous posture.
Celestia feels her brow raise as she finds Anon on a small stage of some kind. All the while, Rarity worked a measuring tape around his form. Oh, thank you. Anon answers automatically.
Oh, no problem, darling. I simply speak the truth.
She compliments. You do know that I can't pay you back for these clothes, Anon says. I'd rather you didn't take the time to do this.
Oh, hush. Think nothing of it.
She says. Seriously, I don't want these clothes, he says as he quickly dismounts the stage.
What?
Rarity quickly blocks his path.
Why not?
I don't take charity, he answers.
Well, how about you do a job for me? Then it wouldn't be charity.
Rarity offers. Anon lets out a sigh. Alright, sure. What do you need?
Well, there's this little mountain that contains gems just outside of Ponyville. If you go and dig up a few for me, then I would greatly appreciate it.
Anon gives a nod. Sure, I'll be back soon.
Excellent. I'll be waiting here.
Celestia finds her mind wondering. A mountain with gems? Wait. Rarity didn't send him there, did she? She quickly looks over to dream Anon as he walks off towards the very mountains that she was thinking of.
No.
She feels her body become heavy.
No, please, no. Sister, prepare for a skip. Skip?
Celestia looks to Luna, unsure of what she means.
The next few minutes he experiences in his dream are pure pain, yet not a single thing is shown. It starts up again a few moments after.
Celestia looks back to the road, unaware of what is to happen. It is brief, but noticeable. The light and sky, the clouds, all of them quickly move across the sky. She only felt a fraction of what Luna spoke of, though it still hurt her deeply. She finds her eyes looking up to the horizon. A shadowy figure is limping its way towards Rarity's home, and she can't hold back her gasp as she looks up at Anon. He's covered in bruises, blood, and scratches. His clothes are horribly torn, and he's walking with a significant limp. He clutches his stomach tightly as he continues on his path. Finally, he makes it to Rarity's door. She can see the look of pure hate in his eyes as he readies his fist to bang on the door, but his anger quickly vanishes as his hand drops. He just stands there for a few moments before he reaches into his pocket and pulls out a few gems. He simply crouches down and lays them at her front door. He then turns away and limps back towards his home without looking back. At this moment, Celestia feels her tears flowing freely now.
That was the last dream my sister could take. She only wished to find you after.
Luna said. Anon chuckles sleepily. So, my little eternal goddess couldn't handle anymore. Anon tries to joke with Celestia, but it doesn't take. She just looks away, with tears still threatening to fall.
Luna is the most strong-hearted of the both of us,
Celestia admits, and Anon lets out a sigh. Well, that dream isn't actually a dream. That's a memory. Rarity told me to dig up those gems in the mountains, but what she didn't tell me about the place is that it's guarded by diamond dogs. A battle for my life later, I come staggering back to Ponyville, worse for wear. He shakes his head. I still couldn't bring myself to get angry. To have a moment. So I just went back home, as I usually do.
I'm so sorry, Anon.
Celestia says as she leans her head on his shoulder.
I didn't know.
He pets her head some. I won't say that it got better after those incidents, Princess. In fact, it got worse. But life is pretty good now, so there's that. Anon still feels a great deal loopy after that alcohol he drank. He isn't even sure if this is all a dream or not. He's always wanted to tell the princess about how terrible her ponies are, but that was before that he got to know her personally. Doesn't really seem to matter though now. Right now, Celestia's crying on her shoulder, while Luna scoots closer, wrapping her forelegs around Anon to hold him tight. Seems like he's stuck here, no matter what happens. Well, he's tired anyways. Might as well pass out for a while. Celestia eventually notices that Anon's breaths are shallow. She lifts her head and looks down at him as he rests, the stench of alcohol still being present. She looks over to Luna as she lifts her head as well. It seems that she too has done her fair share of crying.
Why does he not emote from these horrors, sister?
Luna asks, and Celestia shakes her head some.
I don't know, Luna. Perhaps he did at one point, or maybe he never did.
She cringes at some of the memories that replayed in her mind.
What are we going to do? Can we even help him? Perhaps rest is what we need.
Luna motions towards Anon's bed.
Tomorrow, we can think about how to help our friend.
Celestia gives a nod as she gently picks up Anon from the couch and levitates him onto the bed, making sure to place him in the center. She doesn't want to leave him alone. Or well, at least that's what she thought. Truthfully, she doesn't want to be alone right now. She crawls into bed as she wraps her hooves around Anon, and Luna too climbs into bed on the opposite side and wraps her hooves around Anon as well, using her magic to lay a blanket over them. Luna looks to Anon, then to her sister.
Anon would be far more comfortable without these,
Luna says as she looks to his clothes.
Perhaps you are right.
Celestia agrees, as she uses her magic to teleport his clothing to the floor. And with that done, the two princesses and Anon fall into a blissful slumber. Well, close enough, at least. Part of me is thinking that Celestia took away all of Anon's clothes, but we'll find out eventually. Anywho, let's get on to our formal donators. Top donators: TacoCat598, Peter Coulthard, J Tin Man, Darkside, Ponyman, and Gauntlet. Zar630, Raiden, Black Moonheart, Drake Lovedragon, Dospo, Delta Omega, Runescythe 9852, Hunter Norman, Dash of Evergreen, Riny Dragonwolf, Secret Moon, Tal Rasha, The Toilet Snake, Sword Brother and Mordred, Ronin Wandering, Random Person Man Guy, Easy, Jack Cadge, Skyochia, Leslie Prickett, Jordan Peterson, Crimson Kitsune 9, Lightskin, Monster Kitty, Starlight Glimmer, Lightning Blitz, Squiddy Boy, David Sanchez, Soul Dragon, Gaggy, Trey, Shadow Drake, Joe Piercy, Alex F, Rainbow Dash, Tioka Anderson, TV Killer, John Becker, Leon Reynolds, Raven Speedster, Zach Rakau, Mystery CU, Edgar Garcia, One Kingdom 1, Nissa Rusan, Vazuri, Dyslexic Character Sheets, Just a Random Boy, Hodrick Plunkart, A Crazy Person, Ponyman365, Neapolitan, 6 of 9, and Shyfire. Thank you all so much for watching this video, and live life to the fullest.